Hello, welcome to Ressa's Corner. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Today I have a lovely guest named Samantha here with me today, and she's going to introduce herself and let you know who she is. So Samantha, how are you doing today?
I'm well, how are you?
Doing pretty good. So just to start off, tell us about yourself and what do you do?
Okay, well, first, thank you for having me. I'm always appreciative of anyone who wants to learn more about me. So what I do, my name is Samantha. I also go by the Curator Creative, and I like to refer to myself as the Curator of Wellness. So what that deals in, or what I specialize in, is self-love and wellness, just dealing with understanding ourselves on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual level. I think that's really important. So I work with all different age groups, from children up on to adults as well.
Okay. So what made you choose your profession?
Woo, honestly, girl, life experiences, because before I wanted to always work with children, so my dad told me, oh, go in the medical field, be a doctor. And so I was like, okay, I'll be a pediatrician. And the nerd in me came out in about 9th grade, where I wrote Emory, and I wanted to know all of, the requirements, the prerequisites, what I needed. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do this. So what I end up discovering is that I've always had a love for psychology and sociology. I took those classes in high school, honors, AP, everything. And I just finally said, go to school for it. Go to school for psychology. You love it, you study it just leisurely, go ahead and do it. So that's kind of what I did.
Okay.
Or how I fell into it.
Okay, all right. So what kind of courses do you teach?
Well, I have a range of courses. My courses include candle healing, crystal healing. What those kind of refer to is just lighting candles for different aspects of color therapy, using crystals to elicit certain energies and just be able to help us heal on a different level. But outside of that, I have trauma recognition courses and mind power courses to really get to the root of our issues, whether it stemmed from childhood, whether it's something we developed in adulthood, or maybe we just need somebody to help us think through and gather the thoughts in our mind and get them, like all centered and, in a kind of flow chart type of manner.
Right. Okay, cool. Okay. So how do you prepare yourself for your courses with your clientele?
So it really depends on what the course is. Like if I'm doing a meditation, I probably wouldn't start with meditation. I normally do. I'll start with a meditation. But if I'm doing a meditation, I'll look more so at their questionnaire so I can kind of focus in and guide my own self in the meditation of where I should be going with that client. If I feel that the client is suffering from just not being connected to themselves and being connected to nature, then I'll start with going outside and being like just immersing myself into nature so that I can start picking up on those energies to be able to kind of give that and reflect that to my client as well. So different sessions require different things. When I'm doing candle healing, I'm more so inside, so I'll start with the meditation.
Okay. So it starts mentally.
Mentally, yes. Mental is, when you do energy healing, it has a lot to do with using your own energy. And if you're not prepared, if you don't calm yourself, if you don't center yourself and balance yourself, it'll be a nightmare. It'll be a nightmare.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so that actually leads perfectly to my next question. So how does self-love and wellness actually connect?
The thing is, it's crazy that we even have to ask that question, because self-love and wellness are pretty much the same thing. Self-love is understanding the love for yourself, looking within, and in order to understand that love and just reflect that love, you have to take care of yourself. That's a part of being well. So your wellness could be your actual self-care, taking bubble baths, taking showers, how many showers you take, just relaxing, meditating, having time with yourself, processing time. So really it's the same thing. It's just another branch. It's an extension of self-love. Wellness is an extension of that.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned how you focus on trauma healing from childhood to adulthood. Now, how do those two connect?
So a lot of times the way we respond in life has a lot to do with the fact that we had some things, some issues, some situations that went on in our childhood. And even outside of that, it could be the fact that, well, you know, we saw auntie or we saw cousin or we saw brother or mom respond in a certain way. So we took on that reality because that's who we're learning from as children. So whether it be that scenario or us just being in school and, you know, bullied or just not feeling adequate enough, a lot of our traumas we bring into adulthood. And so in order to be able to be a whole, full, peaceful, and balanced adult, a lot of times we have to go back to our childhood and say, okay, what was I bullied in school? Was I did I feel inadequate? Was I comfortable in myself? Did I have issues with my mom? Did I have issues with my parents? Was I only around my cousins a lot? What did that, how did that affect my social ability? How did that affect me emotionally, not having my mom there or not feeling that connection? A lot of it's it's disconnectedness. Most times it's disconnectedness, and so we just have to bridge those gaps and bring back the connection, so as adults in our adulthood we can go and, you know, live a more balanced life.
Makes sense. A lot of times we don't realize with all we've been through and how it would affect us.
We don't, because we're so used to just emotionally responding. I mean, really 90% of how we respond is based off of emotion, not really our logic. And it's crazy to even think like that, right? Because we're like, what? Like, we are responding. Right, like we say we're fine, and a lot of times we're fine, but we could use a little extra help, a little extra push. That little nudge, like, okay, sis, help.
Right.
You know, like, thanks.
Right. So why is childhood psychology important, and how do you plan on leaving your mark in the field?
So, childhood psychology, oh my gosh, I'm in love with children. I think they are the most beautiful creation of human beings. Like, now before we become adults, because we're so tainted and we're so just like jaded, and we don't interact the same way. So, childhood psychology is important to me because we're rearing up very special children. We live in a very special time. Our children are so advanced, not only technologically, intellectually, emotionally. Like, when I listen to my children talk and some of the things that they say to me and the way that they respond because of how I respond is so important, and to just love on them and have the right healing mechanisms to be able to just bring them forward into adulthood. So I start with that because not only do I have the love for children, but I also have the love for those children turning into, you know, balanced adults. And for me, ways that I see myself leaving my mark, creating courses, classes, content, you know, to help children speak, but still help with, you know, just giving them that emotional or that mental support that they need. So I'm focused on creating those courses, creating those classes, creating schools around a different education curriculum. You know, our education system has not been revised in 100 years. Like, we're in 2019. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. You know, so just restructuring the way society thinks about mental health, emotional health, and physical health as well. They all are different aspects that we have to take care of, which is wellness.
Okay, yeah, it connects. So what are the warning signs for a child displaying distress?
You know, honestly, it's so many different things. They could be uninterested in talking to you, talking to anyone. They could act out by wanting more attention. Like, if they keep calling you and they're like, mommy, 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 you know, if they're not asking you typically for something to eat, they need attention. If they're, you know. Right. So those are two ways. Another way that I see is in school. A lot of times teachers don't know how to connect with the students. If you hear a lot of teachers talk, they're like, oh, wow, these are different, you know, grade of students. They're not like the students before. So expressing that disconnectedness that they have and kind of appropriating that on the children, making them feel it as well. That's the way that, you know, they they pick up on that. They have the distress signals, but it's more so in how they're watching you, how they're looking at you. So we have to watch how children look at us. We should ask them how they feel about us, you know, whatever role we play in their life, guardian, parent, friend, stranger, you know, acquaintance. We really want to ask how they feel. There's so many different ways as a child you can, and it differs per child too. So to give one answer, that's a little, it's not fair to generalize. Children were also different, but yeah. Those are some ways.
Okay. So if a person is interested in seeking help, but they are too afraid to ask because of pride, what advice would you give that person?
I would say go within first. You know, when you go within yourself and you have that conversation with yourself, you know, that voice that you hear that sounds like you, but you may not want to really talk to sometimes. When you talk to her or him, they'll kind of guide you and tell you what direction you need to go in. Like if it's a thing where you're feeling that the person, you can't confide in your friends, seek professional help, because it's private, it's confidential. If that's something that you're concerned about or you're worried about, you know, you don't have to worry about that when you have professional help. Seek professional help that is private and that you feel comfortable with. A lot of times we just will go to a therapist and think that that therapist is just going to click with us. Feel their energy, have a consultation, like a free consultation with them. Learn about them, kind of sit with them and feel their energy too, because they might not be the right fit. So just test it out. Everybody's not right for you, because I know everybody wasn't right for me.
Me either.
Man, I've had some, like, is this one therapist, bless her heart, I was just like, what am I paying you for? Like, we just didn't connect. I didn't like her methods. You know, just the best advice, talk to yourself about it. You know, talk to a close family friend or, you know, family member about it, and, you know, find someone that you connect with. Feel their vibe, feel their energy, and you'll know then.
Okay, I understand. So how can people contact you for your services? Because you said a lot of great things. So how can they contact you?
Okay, so I have, I'm really active on Instagram. So the way that you can contact me is at thecuratorcreative.com. If you have Instagram, you can follow me at The Curator Creative, and you can actually go to the link in my bio and you'll receive a lot of different links to whatever services that you may need. It's the best form to contact me on, but if not, you can always just go to thecuratorcreative.com, scroll down to the bottom, and you can enter in the advice section or question section.
Okay. Well, thank you, Samantha, for being my guest today and for your great services. So we're going to cheers to your greatness.
Yes, and your greatness as well. I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. So thank you guys for watching Ressa's Corner. We appreciate your view, and we'll see you next time.
Next time.
See you.